up, everybody? Welcome back to Frolfcenter, presented by Frolfcenter Magazine, 26th of August, 2021. I'm Austin Lytle. Adam, we're switching it up for y'all tonight.
We're doing something a little different tonight. Mr. Cody had a good idea. We're already doing it. See, we tend to talk over each other constantly on the show, so we're going to try to dial it back by 33% of the hosts and see if it's a little better. What are you drinking, Austin?
Dude,
G13?
Same old, but I've got some Ghost in the Machine tonight.
Very nice, very nice. I got the Elsewhere Jest Dark Czech Lager. It's pretty good. So,
hell yeah. My only notes for this week are just check out the players meeting if you haven't already seen it from Mama Mac, Courtney McCoy.
This is for Hotlanta.
For Hotlanta this weekend at Griffin, Georgia. It's a good watch. It's very informative. I highly suggest you watch it and know your rules.
And if you like the hats you saw in the commercial, we're going to have a bunch of them there vending on Sunday at Dundee for the end of the whole thing. So make sure you check it out. Without further ado, we're just going to get right into it, I think. Tonight's guest is a household name among disc golfers. He's a man. He's won a world championship. He's won the USDGC. He's won the Japan Open. He's won the Scandinavian Open. He's won the European Open twice. He's working with the PDGA. He's also getting everything set up with the NADGT, the National Amateur Disc Golf Tour, which is taking off because there's now 95,000 people playing disc golf, right? He's got his name printed on more discs than 99.9% of the disc golf population. Ladies and gentlemen, it's David Feldberg.
How's it going, fellas?
What's up,
Dave?
Good. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Let's get you on the big screen, too, for everybody. There we go.
Going a
little Dave.
Sorry, everybody.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, looking good, Dave. Looking good, brother.
Yeah, shaped up nicely. Okay, first thing we ask everybody, tell us about the first time you went disc golfing. Who'd you go with? What were you throwing, and why did you go?
Well, I've told the story a lot, so those at home don't get upset. But basically, the first time I went disc golfing, we used to meet on campus at Western Michigan after classes around 4 something every day, and we'd always decide if we were going to play basketball, football, baseball, whatever, Sega, hockey, whatever it was, right? And one day I walked into the house and nobody was downstairs. Usually there's 5 guys, at least. And I hear everybody upstairs, making a bunch of noise going through closets. And I walked up the steps and what's going on, fellas? They're like, Floff time. So I thought you guys would like that, Frolfcenter thing. I go, Floff time? What's that? They're like, just get in the car. And the guy tossed me a Barracuda. And they drove me about 15 minutes away from campus, right towards where I grew up. I didn't even know it was there. And, took me on the course and made me play for 25 cents a hole and took a few bucks off me. And, but I thought it was pretty fun. It was at Colebrook Park in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And, that's basically how I got started. And then I started playing with those guys, about my own discs, et cetera, et cetera. But, they smashed a hole at me. I lost all 18 skins and, but they loved it. They still call it Floff, that group. They won't call it disc golf. They won't call it disc golf. So,
you still keep in contact with those guys?
Yeah. Actually, I talked to a couple of them this last year. I noticed they're in my Facebook feed, so they follow the sport. One of them posted, it was nice to see me play on the coverage this year, and none of them kept it real serious. But the funny thing is, when I was advanced in the state, all of them would beat me in the state series. So they were better than they were better than me until I went on tour.
And now they're hanging that on their fridge, I beat Dave Feldberg one time, right?
Yeah, they own me. Yeah.
Tell me about your last round you played. Where was it? What were you throwing the most? How'd it feel?
Last round I played, it was Idlewild. We don't get to play any practice rounds around here since there's no disc golf in Central Georgia. But so my last one was at the final round at Idlewild in Cincinnati at the Pro Tour. I was throwing a lot of soft turnovers and rollers, actually, for the course. And I did pretty good. I shot an 8 under and finished 10th. And, it was a pretty good round. I think that's the future of disc golf, though. That is the course that I've seen so far in the country that's the best. It has, power.
I just met – yeah. Oh, yes. I just went to Palmetto Point Park for the first time, the Green Gauntlet in Orlando, and I fell in love with disc golf all over again. Same idea. It's just one of those. That's a different thing.
Yeah, I just like the idea of having shapes, but also they had holes sprinkled in that required power that Kevin Jones could get an eagle on that I couldn't. But they also had shots where guys could take a 7 where I could get a 3. And I thought that we want to see all skills. I think that people tell me all the time they're watching the coverage, and when they're in the spring tour, people get bored watching it. It's the same shot over and over again.
Golf course golf. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be playing more fall tour in the future, like Delaware and Vibram, Northwood,
Smuggler's Notch.
Yeah, stuff where it takes some shape. So.
And maybe get back to the IDGC and get WR Jackson back in the mix for majors here at some point. Maybe.
Well, April, I heard, right?
April, yeah, I think that's what they were saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, how long were you playing disc golf before you decided to go on tour and make it something that you wanted to do in your life?
About 2.5 years. I was, I got to be that first year I was terrible, right? I went to the amateur worlds with a plastic bag and 2 discs. I didn't know what I was doing. Some guy signed me up to the PDGA, told me to go, and I got 190th out of 215 or something. And then I went back and trained for a whole year thinking I knew what I was doing. I didn't, but I did get 7th the next year. And then the Winnie crew started, and they happened to be from my hometown. And they didn't know me, but the guy, Todd Branch, hit me in the ear with a putt and at the cracked plastic open when it was -2 degrees. And it really hurt. It was the first time I ever got hit.
Cracked cartilage open now, right?
Yeah. And I kind of got mad, and he was like, calm down, man. I'm Todd Branch. I'm a touring pro, kind of thing. Gave me the whole spiel and said that he'd give me a disc and all the whole 9 yards. And so I calmed down, and then we realized we were from the same town and had some similar interests, and we started hanging out. And he's just basically said to me out of the clear blue one day, would you ever be able to go on tour? And I said, yeah. He goes, but you're in college. What would your parents think? I go, I'd drop in a heartbeat and go on tour. And he's like, okay. So they started their tour, the first ever guys to go on the road and make a living, called Quit Your Job, Play Disc Golf, Woody Crew.
And who was that?
Todd Branch and Al Shack and Darren Harper. And they were all winners of at least Elite Series level events in their career. And Darren Harper, I guess, didn't make it too well. He used to his mom's cooking and stuff like that. And so they called me 3 months into their tour and said, hey, bring a couple amateurs and be our partner in Kentucky at the Dave Greenwell Pro-Am doubles. So we drove up like 6 hours. I played with Todd. The other guys played with Al and thing. And me and Todd got second to Greenwell and his partner. Not bad. And then when I went back to the RV to say goodbye, he said, so you ready? And I said, what? He goes, Darren's not making it. He's going home. And I said, oh, really? I'm just an amateur. He goes, yeah, for now. And he's like, meet us in Kansas City in 2 weeks. Come without, transportation. So I went home, packed my stuff, and got on a bus and headed to the Kansas City wide open.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And the road warriors.
I lived in a luggage rack.
This is what we do for disc golf.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but what about this old busted Jeep that you've had for, X amount of years? I mean, this is the vehicle you started touring in? I mean, you still show up to it in disc golf tournaments.
Right. What happened was I had it as a vehicle when I went on the tour there, but they told me to come without a vehicle, so I parked it. And then I took it, and when me and Avery moved to Oregon from the tour, we used that and towed our U-Haul to Oregon. And then we used it as the college car all the way through college. And then when I went on tour, I would use it for a winter car. And then it was a winter car all through that. And then I took it to Scottsdale as my main car. And then when we moved here to Georgia, I towed it because I didn't think it would make the drive. And then I've been using it thinking it will die, but it's been 20,000 miles plus here in Georgia, and it won't die. I just took it to Idlewild and back. I mean, no problem.
Yeah.
What's the total mileage on that thing?
It's only up to 240. Okay. I think that I don't use it, but it's a 1997 Jeep. I got it the year out of high school, right off the lot.
Why the blue? Why the blue Jeep?
The ugly blue. I had a good friend of mine who was a mechanic that played disc golf with me, and I took him to the dealership and I said, "Give me which one I want." And he laid under all these Jeeps and he played with them. He came up and he said, "Sorry, man, the ugly blue one's going to be the one that's going to last the longest." And I'm like, "I like that green one." He's like, "No, the ugly blue one. Sorry, And he's right. I mean, it won't die. Water pump's the biggest thing that's happened to it ever.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Please tell me you got that windshield fixed before you drove to Idlewild.
It is
Good.
fixed, but I went 50,000 miles without an oil change back then. I didn't care about it. I didn't know. I thought it would just die. but it won't. So
it's a tank.
I thought my Toyota was going to last forever. Now you got me rethinking my entire life. Yeah.
Okay, all right, back to disc golf. Which one felt better, your first USDGC or the first World Championship?
I would say the World Championship. The USDGC was amazing, but I didn't expect it. It was just like I played better than Barry in the final round. He had some moments, missed a 2-foot putt where he dropped the disc next to the basket by accident instead of putting it in, stuff like that. And I made a couple good shots on the end holes and won, and it was exciting and it was amazing. But the Worlds was like, that was my goal since I started. And achieved my goal in my hometown was kind of, really amazing. And from the moment I got there to the moment it was over, everybody was pulling for me, from friends to media, and it, it was really nice. And to that nice lead, it was a nice victory lap at USDGC. I was shaking at the island. I had to make the island to win, and I do the island to win. At the Worlds, I had 14 strokes in the finals, walking around smiling and goofing around,
hey,
shaking hands, and signing babies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna win this, guys. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
All right. You said earlier it's hard to practice in Central Georgia. What is the practice routine for you right now? Are you putting every day? Are you working too hard to do any of that?
I don't throw any practice putts. I don't play any practice rounds. People probably at home are like, he's lying. But literally, if you live around here, there's one course 40 minutes away. It's overgrown. Nobody plays it. It's called Georgia State College course. Yeah. The next closest course is an hour, 10 minutes. That starts to be a drive when you have, a family. So we're thinking about playing this weekend, around out in Augusta somewhere and taking a little drive. But, it's a whole day commitment. But yeah, putting, no. I have baskets in my yard, but I don't have the time. NADGT is a big undertaking. Having a family now, we just got a new dog this week. Just a lot.
Did you now? Hell yeah.
The clan is growing. Do you do any other fitness stuff? Do you do hiking, yoga, meditation, any of that stuff? Or you just work, play when I can, work?
I used to do all that stuff. When I was winning, I took Yoga 1, Yoga 2, Hatha Yoga. I took Kundalini Yogas.
Oh, wow.
2 classes.
My fiance's in the vinyasa, the power yoga, which is terrifying.
Yeah, I know that. Well, you do the headstands and stuff, yeah. And,
terrifying.
And we did, I did a lot of other things like P90X every winter and running and all that stuff, and that was kept there. So now all I do is, like, for the Masters Worlds, I was like, I got to play. So about 2.5 weeks before the Masters Worlds, I started running a couple miles a day. And, I went to the field up at this church here and threw 36 imagined tee shots because I knew the courses.
Yeah.
And then pick them up and go home. And that's basically what I did for 2.5 weeks. So that's about the most practice I've had in a couple of years. But pre-COVID, I did P90X that winter, and I came to the Memorial. I was in 5th halfway through the tournament, and I was at a different level than I am now. Mm-hmm. And once COVID kicked in, I believe I had it, and I had to go home and quarantine and drop out of the tournament. There was no tournaments, and I just let myself kind of go a little bit. And now that I'm older, it's like I'm not quite there. I could play good if I played every day, but it's just not. People don't realize I choose to not play every day.
Right.
I made a choice. I'm 44. Having a company and a family is going to be more important in 10 years than putting a couple more trophies on the wall.
Exactly.
I want to highlight that you said back when I used to win. Like, you're still winning tournaments, bro.
Right. I know, but what I used to be, what we used to call world beater. Someone that can go any country, anywhere, and play.
You're at least a Georgia beater.
Yeah, that's true. Well, just as long as
that's true.
As long as you're at the tournament, I'm good.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, but if Jason Light's there, forget about it. I'm going up. We're not doing this.
Actually, the one that's got my number has been Isaac Robinson.
The Robinson boys got your number.
They got everybody's number.
He's been beating me by a couple at the last couple we faced, but that is hard because I'm not practiced, and watching him beat me, it's just hard.
Right.
It's hard to take.
Shout out to Jake Shelby for beating Ezra this weekend, though. I think he's going to hang that on the fridge for about 6 months.
Oh, yeah, that one's going to be on the shelf.
Yeah.
Those kids are getting good, though. Pulling for Alden, too. So.
Hey, I love to hear that, Dave.
It's the South's turn to push disc golf culture for.
I bragged those 3 up everywhere. Every company I talked to all winter when I was doing sponsorship deals, I kept saying, "You guys will see what Georgia's got." So I know they had a kind of a tough year this year, but I think the first year of doing it teaches you, and I think next year those three could be.
Oh yeah,
Isaac maybe not, but those two, Ezra and Alden, they could smash.
Yeah,
Isaac's committed to going to college, but Isaac smacks around those boys. I think.
Yeah, 18 unders. I mean, I don't want to mess with that. I'm glad I didn't go to that one. Slept in that one.
There we go. Yeah, brothers got everyone full. It's so low key good. Yeah, Austin, you got that next one. Do we lose him?
No, I'm here.
No, Austin.
No. All right. If you had to describe your style, I mean, your style of play is unlike any other. But if you were to describe it to someone, what would it be? How would you describe your style of play?
I did just always try to find a way to score.
Find a way to score.
I don't care if it's a roller, a tomahawk, a skymohawk, a skip shot.
You're getting there. Yeah.
Taking a 157 disc to get over some treat. I don't care what it is. Finding a way to get the lowest score on the hole without getting in trouble and taking a big number.
Scraping every foot. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my style. And, when you say people don't throw like me, it's funny. Not take credit, but I showed many of these kids that we know today. I won't say which ones, but I think you guys know. And they don't look like me, and they all have this technique that you guys think is the best technique. But we're doing the same thing. It's just that I'm not as athletic, and I'm chubby, and so I don't look like it, and I'm lower. So, you know what I mean? But
no, I get it.
We're doing the same, like, pulling motion, feeling motion, tension, grip. It just everybody looks different. I try to tell people that you can't look like anybody else when you throw. You have to mentally be doing what they're doing, and your body will make it look how it looks.
Emulation is an important part of the game that people overlook. Emulating someone who has good form, even if it's exaggerated, can teach you a lot about the limits of your body, I feel like. And I remember one thing I wanted to say, I know I'm stepping all over Austin's question, but you had a form video like in a garage at one point where you're just talking about the pole. And I remember watching this thing. I think it was like 40 minutes long. It changed. It's like Danny Lindahl, who? Like that guy, I didn't get it. When I saw you talk about it, it made sense to me. So if you guys can go find this old Dave Feldberg in the garage footage, it's fantastic.
Well, I'll do a plug on that. That was on Infinite. I'll do a plug. I am going to be teaching a world champion school of disc golf. Just opened up with Scott Zimmerman, the GOAT of Frisbee, PDJ number 162. Guy that Bruce, believe it or not, he just opened that and made me one of his instructors. And we're having our first camp in Austin, Texas at the mid-October where there's only 20 students allowed. You get 3 days with me and Zimmerman and some other world champions, full video analysis, and try to give people what it takes to get to the next level. If you want to invest like in a golf class and spend a few $100s, then you can get these lessons instead of just getting a quick, $40 clinic.
How can folks find that information online?
World Champion School of Disc-Golf.com.
Perfect. That's
I think whatever the call letters are, World Champion School of Disc
Yeah,
Golf.
sure, yeah.
Just
Dave, I have a feeling I know the answer to this, but what is the best thing you do on the disc golf course? Like, if there's a preferred shot on a certain hole, what is that preferred shot for you?
Hyzer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to throw a hyzer, and if I have to throw a turnover, that I threw a hyzer and it turned over, that still felt like a hyzer.
Right. I've heard you say it before. I want to throw every disc on the same angle and have it do something different.
Yeah, hyzers are easy. Your body bends over. The other stuff that you're manipulating, it becomes you have to be playing a lot to get those angles right.
What's the preferred disc nowadays?
Wow, I went back. I'm back. Sorry. I tested everybody's discs around the world. I did all that stuff last couple of years, and I used my Infinite, Emperors and Pharaohs and stuff. But in general, I pulled out my bag from 20 years ago, or 10 years ago when I left Innova, and I'm using those exact Eagles, Destroyers, AVRs, and Rocks.
Bosses.
Yeah, those Grateful Dead Eagles are disgusting.
Yeah, all of those. I mean, I'm using the exact same ones. Like when I played the Masters Worlds, I used the same bag I won in 2008 with.
Yeah.
Same putters, everything.
Yeah, he's not lying. I've seen the bag. What needs a little work for Dave Feldberg?
Putting. And
You're
distance.
lying.
I lost.
Okay, I'm done with that question.
I had the neck surgery.
Okay.
Right.
So I lost 150 feet. The year before neck surgery, I threw 633 in Charlotte, and now I throw like 440. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
They said I would never be the same. So I have less distance, and my not putting inside the circle. That's why you said let's skip it. But outside circle too. If you look at Idlewild, I went 1 for 12 and lost by 5. I was only 1 for 12 outside the circle.
So if you go 50%, you're in it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it used to be my specialty, So if you don't,
I've seen you go a lot lower than 1 for 12 from outside the circle too.
Yeah.
I guess it's only when you're playing against me.
Yeah, that's what I said. You just got to be there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, let me know. I'll come caddy. I'll just carry the bag. I'll take 10%.
Well, are you going to do better than Brian Gort does carrying the bag? Because we have a video of Brian Gort dumping your entire cart over.
Oh, great. You got it? You caught it?
Yeah.
Nice.
From Cinco Lagos.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The other caddy at Worlds didn't make it. He got one dump, too. But
No.
when Austin made that putt down the hill, I always make my putts when I play them. I'm inspired. Every time I look at Austin, I see that putt flying in.
Oh, dude, I vividly play that and hitting the next tree on the next hole in my head over and over at every tournament.
That's because I looked at your caddy, and you were lining up that approach, and he literally said to you, if you toss this up there, you'll be tied with him with 1 to go.
Yeah.
He said that to you, and I was standing there.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I was like, that was the worst thing to say to him,
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
Absolute worst thing to say to me.
Yeah.
He didn't need to say anything to me.
Yeah, I saw it. I watched the whole thing transpire. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You just watch him on.
Yeah, but cashing that 100-footer, I will never forget that.
I talked to Austin out of a round at the tracks one time. It was a lot of fun to do. Mike Thomas wants to know, I know you use a specific putter. What is it, and how many do you have since they're out of production?
I still use the same one from the 97 AM Worlds Players Package that I was given when I showed up with the 2 discs. Same one. Black one. That's my outside putter. I have a backup.
Mentos?
Mentos is the backup. So I have 2 of those, and then I have a KC 10-time short range version. It's called Short Range Driver. Black stamp. I have maybe a handful, not too many. I got one from Gort recently. Shout out to Gort. But yeah, I don't have that many. But I'm using the same one from 2008. I mean, they don't.
Yeah, so you're not going to lose it. It's not going to beat in anymore.
I don't throw them. And short range drivers were a special plastic that doesn't crack. So
you're not going to, no worries there. The kind of it's a funny segue because I'm really interested in the way disc golf is moving with some of these folks who are going to be sponsored by multiple manufacturers. So you've got the infinite deal. You can throw anything you want. There are people out there who can throw anything they want, but they have to throw EB7 putters, and that's their deal. Right. Do you think this multiple manufacturer thing's going to be the way of the future, or is there going to be a big pushback from Innova and Discraft about that sort of thing?
I think it'd be just like other sports. Your top guy, your Nike guy, your top flight 3 or 4 guys, maybe 5. They're going to force them to throw everything their brand because they want them to be branded like a Ricky
Paul, Simon Eagle, those guys.
Yeah, those kind of guys. I think the mid-level guys should be pushing back and saying, look, you don't give me enough to feed my family. You don't give me enough to put gas in my car. I just, it's some free discs and maybe a bonus here and there. I'll throw what I like so I can give you the proper, promotion. But if I don't like your putter, but I love your drivers, you should let me, use these putters from this other company because, hey, you're not invested that much in me anyway, and you want me to do the best. Yeah. And, and I think that people won't have to tell lies about what they like or don't like, and feel uncomfortable being forced to use a mid-range, let's say, when they love the company's drivers and putters, but they just can't do without that one mid-range and then having to change their whole game and losing strokes. It's not worth it unless you're getting paid enough to feed your family, and I think that in other sports, that's how it works. If you're not the top Nike guy, you might be sponsored by Nike drivers, but you might also be sponsored by Callaway Putters and Joe's Iron and Bob's Bags and,
Bob's Bags, I love it. With you, I mean, you've done probably every version of sponsorship there is. How is it now that you can basically pick any disc off the rack, put it in your bag if you like it? How has that affected the way you approach the game of disc golf?
Well, at first I like testing all the discs, but I don't know if it's because I'm slow arm speed or I'm old, but I just like the other stuff and the feel of the older stuff. I think it's just that the plastics, I don't know if it was just the way they were getting them pellets back then. It's just much better. It feels better. And even the old Champion stuff feels better than the new Champion stuff to me. And so, I mean, I have the option to throw anything I want, but I tend not to, but I'm open to it. The one thing that I have added new is my new signature disc is coming out from RPM. Because I'm allowed to have signature discs with a company, right? So.
Oh yeah.
So they let me have I'm gonna have a Kotuku which is a mid-range from New Zealand. They're making some really nice discs now that they're making them in-house. And this thing is like a state. It's like my Cenis, because I still carry a Cenis and a Bard from Latitude. It's like my Cenis with a little distance. So it's like a rock distance, but it has a Cenis flight.
Okay.
And I really like that. So I've added that. And they're going to make the DX version, my signature model, like a permanent thing, not like a tour disc, but a signature model.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so you'll start seeing that. And it's a nice Frisbee. So that makes it for, and how like you said, how do I have this thing is I'm doing these events, right? So that's a player package disc at one of my events. And a kid was holding it in the field during a rain delay. And I was like, let me see that. And I'm like, wow, that feels good, And he's like, yeah, it flies nice too. Give it a throw. And I throw it, and I think it's going to go straight. And it just hyzers off like a meat hook. And I was like, whoa, I need that.
Sounds like I've seen this.
Yeah. I was like, I need one of those. And then that's how, so I started tossing it, and I emailed them, and they said, heck yeah, so.
Nice, dude. So, I mean, you started talking about the NADGT tour, the National Amateur Disc Golf Tour, a little bit. Yep. How did this come about? Like, tell the people what made you start this. Why are you doing it?
Right. Yeah. Well, what happened was the neck, right? So now I'm
ready
to go on tour, and I can't throw. I mean, literally, I said I might never walk again. Originally, it was the discs were stuck into my spine, and so I was kind of down a little bit. And my wife said, "Hey, why don't we run a tour? You're really good at running tournaments." We had run some wintertime tournaments the previous seasons for charity, for like blanket drives and food drives and stuff like that. She's like, people like the tournaments you run. Why don't you run some tournaments? So I put together a 12-event tour with John McRae helping and some other people. And we sent someone to Europe. And that's how it got started. But the reason we did it is we noticed that amateurs didn't get the same experience that professionals did when we went to the tournaments. When I went to the tournament, she came to my side. They rolled out the red carpet, right?
Yeah.
There's banners, snacks, water, 22 volunteers, parking guys, the whole 9 yards, right? On her side, there was one guy, one tent, one thing of water, and that was it. And it was a broke down course, but they paid the same amount. So our thought was, why isn't amateurs who were paying the same amount, who dominate the sport, not able to get the same experience that I get? Right. And that's why they come and go. I stuck for 20 years because my experiences were so good. These guys come and go because their experiences aren't that great sometimes. Right. So if we could give them that high quality experience, and then at the same time, I said there was a gap. I mean, Cynthia saw there was a gap that from 930-ish to 980-ish, the turnover was around 40% of membership after 2 years. And so what we thought is, why is that? And the reason is there's nothing for them. They become the best player in their town. They're never going to beat a Paul McBeth, probably. Not because they're not good enough, because they have a family, a life, a wife. They're not going to have the time to dedicate. Maybe they could, but they don't have it, right? But they're too good to play with the amateur buddies anymore. So they just end up giving it up because they get called sandbagger. It's not fun. No one respects them. You're no Paul McBeth, but you're a sandbagger, right? So there has to be a space. And I didn't want to call it semi-pro because we thought semi-pro was, people look down on that. We were thinking regional pro. And then we just thought, why don't we just make it all amateur, and we'll pay them cash, lots of cash, so they can turn pro and take that next step. And Kyle Klein was the last one we had, and see how that worked.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
Right.
I mean, even Silas.
Yep, Silas Schultz has showed up a bit. Chris Kesselhoff's out there. I mean, I looked at the Worlds. We had about 8 or 10 guys that graduated our tour in the last few years in the top 50. Right. And so I think that you'll see in the next 5 years, the top 50 might be half our guys. Right. And I think that's what's been missing is, you asked how I got to where I got. I had to get taken on tour. There's no road. Like, there's this huge gap. And you would know this, Austin, that, you probably got to that top amateur level when you were running for that amateur championship.
Yeah.
And you turned pro and almost beat me and all that, right? And you thought, hey, I'm going to take this next step. But then life got in the way, right? And why are you not being rewarded? Now you're going to C tiers and B tiers and fighting for your entry fee back and kind of feeling down about it if you don't grab the W. When if you were that skill level in anything else, darts, bowling, locally, when you walked in the bowling alley, they'd be like, Austin, it's we're not giving respect to the guy who is the most talented just because he's not Paul McBeth,
No, I mean that hits home, bro.
I can see
I
it.
wish the NADGT was there when I first came up, because I would have done it.
Yeah, $10,000 to put in your pocket, a good experience.
Yeah, and I would have definitely gone on the road. I went on a spree of winning 7 open tournaments in 1 year, and I hadn't won an open tournament at all. You know, made like $5,000.
Didn't you, Dave?
Yeah.
Huh? Wasn't there a car giveaway one of these years? Or is that next
we
year?
gave away a Jeep. We gave away a Kia Soul. But, this year, for example, I don't know. It's going to be $10,000-15,000 for first. We're still figuring it out. Plus,
that's enough for a car.
You get a tour pass paid for and spots at your disc golf tour, and probably a USDGC spot. We're finalizing that right now too. So you'll basically be able to go on tour. All entries are paid. All events you're in, including the majors. You just gotta show up. You got a year to see if you can make it.
And that's going to help you out, because you're going to have these guys that are going to say, "This is a graduate of the NADGT."
Right. I mean, that's why Disc Golf Network, I think, is coming to our event, and I was able to convince them to come to the amateur championships and, as a Disc Golf Pro Tour telecast, because they need footage of the Kyle Kleins, the future of them. How nice would it have been to them have those clips?
Right.
Right. So
you pull them up like the next time Calvin Klein wins a tournament, and it's like, here was his start, and this is it. That's huge.
You don't have to call his mom and be like, "Give me all the home movies on 8mm. I'm going to digitize them. We got all this stuff." Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
not the Olympics.
They're looking for more footage and more filler, and I think we provide that. Plus, it's feel good for their community to say, "Hey, we also care about everybody, not just the pros."
Yeah. What do you think about the new PDGA rule, Dave? About non-members not being able to compete in B tiers and above?
Well, I've talked to some people on the Rules and Competition Committee, and I'm on the Touring Players Committee.
Yeah, we know that.
And I don't like it personally, but
does this affect the NADGT?
At first look, you would say we're the most affected, and was this a rule for us? But it isn't. It has nothing to really do with us. We weren't even brought up. It is just. We'll just have to run some more C tiers in some locations where members are low, and hopefully they'll still play and they won't care that it's a C tier. But what the problem is they were trying to track pros. The problem was they have no way to track pro cash. So these guys are showing up to B tiers, paying $10, winning all the money. There's no way to track them, get the ratings right, and it was screwing up a lot of local play and not allowing people who are members to properly compete. And so they were trying to find something for a solution for that. And I would suggest it and make it so that you can't play at any pro B tiers without being a member. And if you're an amateur, you could still play in B and C tiers. That's
really the issue happens at the pro level. And
I kind of agree with that. I think it goes back to more like what you were saying. It was like nobody's like glorifying these guys that can win their local B tier. And
but if they're showing up, just take.
They're getting no incentive to sign up for the PDGA. I'll go out and win my local B tier once a year and be the king of my local area, and that'll be it.
Yeah, but the rule doesn't. Right. Yeah, the rule doesn't need to be where it is. So here's kind of a big. Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say
one last thing.
Sure.
The only thing I was going to say about is the amateur part of it is that it concerns me that we won't have as many new players playing, and I think that even though they have 5,000 tournaments and they want to reduce it, I think you're going to see a lot of people choose to run a C tier over a B tier, and that's going to hurt the local scene because then they're not going to be responsible enough to raise and keep it to the level. So I'm a little concerned about it. It's the future. Someday you will have to be a member to play in any events as it grows, right? Yeah. But hopefully, we can get through this growing pain and people will see it as a positive. But it's still not too late for them to say, hey, let's try it on the pro level first.
I worry now, Dave, and I want to get your opinion on this, that the amount of players is growing faster than the courses are growing by quite a bit, and that at some point neighborhoods are going to look at these overrun parks and have a problem. I can see there are already some neighborhoods in Atlanta where the disc golf has become a problem because it's too popular. The parking lots are full, or the the trash cans are full. Whose responsibility is it to foment course construction?
It's been weird in disc golf, as you know. It's just like who gets into the park. You could have a guy that doesn't know anything do it versus the most experienced guy. Tom Monroe. You never know. But I think that it's the responsibility of the community, not the players, but the community leaders and the municipalities to look and say, okay, it used to be a small park activity where like a tennis court where it was used on the weekends or whatever. Mm-hmm. Every time I drive by there, it's full. We either have to increase their amenities with parking lots and bathrooms, or we have to give them some more property that's not so much in the mainstream to avoid people. Because when parks are like that, someone's getting hurt on a weekend.
Right,
you know?
right.
I'm seeing a lot. I've seen a lot of posts with like people bleeding and stuff recently.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's not good for us. And we, you know, if we're going to fill the parks, we can no longer be with multi-use.
Right.
Yeah.
It's skateboarding's problem. I mean, skateboarding had this problem. Nobody wanted a skate park because they thought it brought a problem. And if disc golf becomes a problem, we have this reverse kind of thing there. Do you feel like as disc golf evolves, we're moving into this explosive growth? I mean, we're at the beginning of an explosive growth. I think it's going to get even crazier in the next year. Does the PDGA have too much on its plate? And what could they or should they shed to the NADGT or to the DGPT?
You know, this is an interesting category. I don't think they're growing too big for themselves. I think they just, you know, it's growing and they have to manage it, and they're trying. We'll say that they're trying. We don't know what's going on. You know, we don't go to their meetings. But, you know, we know that they're hiring lots of different people and stuff like that. And they're doing.
I mean, it's a bunch of.
The question on hiring is
I know where you're going. I was going to get to your answer.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, but at the same time, I do see what you're saying. It would make sense based on their governing body and the way they're written to allow the professional side to be kind of almost taken over by the DGPT and let them, you know, focus on that elite series and then look to someone. It could be us or it could be somebody else, but, you know, we're just a tour, but say, you know, we're going to adopt you guys as our amateur feature tour so that we're, as a PDJ, we're going to push you that when amateurs want to know what to do or the road to the finish, here's where you go. And then here's our pro version and here's where they go. Right. And I think that if they embraced it that way and pushed people in those directions, it would be better for them and both parties, the DGPT and the NADGT. I don't know that we, you know, a lot of people want to see the PDJ go away and have both of us step up and just be the governing bodies. But I think that they've got 40 years of boots on the ground. And whether we like some of the things they've done, there's a lot of infrastructure and effort that we as members have paid for. And there's no reason to abandon it. Right. You know, so that's where I see, you know, like even if we do that, we should still use the same rules and everything. There's no reason to abandon what they've put in.
Correct. I mean, they're a resource that could be building courses while you're running a tour for the amateurs. There's a lot of ways that this could all get split up. I have a question for you, too, about with the NADGT in mind and moving forward, do you find that experience is more valuable than vigor at times? Would you rather have someone who's been around the block working with you or someone who's really gung-ho?
I mean, and I'm glad you asked it in that way so we don't got to put anybody on the burner. But I would say, like, if we're looking to put people in our staff or we're looking to create a board of directors to grow this thing, we're going to shoot for PJ members under 10,000. You know, nothing against the newer guys, but I never understood, even when I was on the board, where is the Greenwells and the Levon Wolfs and the Tom Monroes and the Tito Allgades and the, you know,
Dino Hannock.
When she was alive, right? You know, those people, they should be the ones that were going to their minds and saying, like, hey, you were there, you've seen it all evolve. You know, what do you think we should be doing? And if the gurus can't get us there, then we won't get there. You know, we should.
I think you as well need to be a member of that table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I'm getting there. You know, and we'll all get there. But I think we tend to stray away from the experienced ones, as I think we all are kind of scared. Not me, but the community. They never want anybody to get too much power. It's the piece of the pie syndrome that I've mentioned many times. And if you let these leaders do it, then they're going to do it, and they're not going to care about who's getting a piece of the pie. And a lot of these smaller people who have not been around as long feel left out, and then, you know, that's where it goes wrong, because everybody put in a lot of work. It's not just those older guys. Guys we don't even know work every day at the course. They do everything, so they feel like they're a part of it. So those
are the guys that just started like 5 years ago too, or they're out there taking care of their local course because they just retired and don't have anything better to do.
Right. So, you know, we don't want to alienate anybody, but I don't understand why we don't lean on our experience. Like I said, where are those 9,000 PDJ members? Why are we not talking to them? We got Stork Roddick, number 2. They lean on him quite a bit. Where's number? I mean, Scott Zimmerman, PDJ 162. No one's talking to him. Guy was the GOAT. I mean, you don't think he has any ideas or ways to make things better? You know.
I mean, I see you're going out to his hometown to host your NADGT.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So.
Hey, is there a such thing as overgrowing the sport right now?
People talk about that. There's a lot of weird people on the course and they don't like it.
Right.
No, there's no way to overgrow it. Nobody's going to get turned off by it. I mean, I don't know about other states, but when you go around Georgia, the courses are still empty unless you're in a couple in Atlanta. A few.
Oh, you're full of shit.
If you go
you show up to Parkerson at Sunday mornings between 10 and 12. You're not teeing off within like the 5 minutes you're showing up.
That's what I say. You got Parkerson and you got that wooded course that Gord always loves. What's it called?
The tracks?
No, the one he always had his tournament at. The one you
Roswell?
Huh?
East Roswell.
East Roswell, yeah. They're packed, right?
East Roswell, any like metro, like North Metro Atlanta, Georgia, like course, you're not getting out there and playing around.
Oregon Park is a nightmare.
Right,
it looks like Disney.
If you come to Sandersville, you go to a lot of courses in Augusta. You go to any of these ones in Central Georgia, Monty or Indian Creek. If you see a car, you're lucky.
We call that BFE.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so
Both like Eatonton. Or Elberton.
There's plenty of places to play. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think. Do you think we're in the golden age of disc golf? Do you think like this is the max we're going to get, or do you think it can only get higher?
It can get higher, but I think that the pro level can only go a little bit higher. I mean, they might get paid more, but we're already getting on ESPN. They're going to show it 8 times, whatever. They're not going to show it every night on ESPN. It's never going there. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't think so? It'll never grow there?
It'll never be like every night, like baseball, no. But we can be, like skateboarding or, some steady sports that people consider a real sport that exist. And I think that we could find ourselves in that position and have a consistent living for maybe 100 people. And then, have a nice recreational thing. We have to work stronger on our recreational development. That's one thing NADGT is focused on in the future is local development of organized play that makes sense and allows people to compete for fun, not just trying to win a prize or thousands of dollars. Like they like it. They like to play with those people on Tuesday and they enjoy the whole activity. And that's the important part. And more team and stuff like that play at a local level. That's what gets people coming out when you get to play with your friends and play with new people. Not just be stripped from your friends and be like, well, you're in hole 7. Allowing people to come to as a group, play with their group, play against another group. Then you have, recreational activity everybody wants to go to on Tuesday night, even the wife.
All right.
We get
I got
it says getting in the Olympics. How do you feel about Olympic disc golf? Yes, no, maybe?
We have to get if there's a minimum amount of countries. There's 300 plus countries in the U.S. in the world, and I think you have to be in 40 or 60% of them. So we have quite a long way to go.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get all of the Bahamas. Get all those straightened out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More stuff in the Philippines. We get South Pacific. We'll just do the tropical tour in the winter.
I think we could fit into field events though with distance and accuracy or something.
Yeah, because WIFDF and the PDGA just linked back up again, right?
Yeah. I think people would allow that in the Olympics, field events.
It'd be fun to watch, for sure. Yeah. Are you ready for the fun questions, Dave?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hold on. I got one more before we get
one
there.
One more real one. Uh-oh.
If you could give one advice as a tournament director to any tournament director that you're going to play in his or her event, what would that advice be?
Do everything days ahead of time. Literally everything. Player packs, scorecards, even the names on the scorecards, the scoreboard, the course marking. Literally, when it comes to the couple days before, just be standing around and asking people if they're enjoying themselves instead of working.
Right.
Because then your mind will be open to anything that can happen, and you can give proper solutions instead of being running around like a chicken who doesn't know how to answer a question.
I'm really sad Cody wasn't here to hear that, but I love playing Cody rodeos. But man, they're fun.
Yeah. Don't open your tournament box on Friday night.
Yeah.
Don't get out of your spot. All right.
I like that one.
Fun questions. I'm going to give you the keys to, you said you're throwing the old shit. You have the keys to the Innova factory for the night. No one knows what you're doing. What is the Frankenstein stuff you're putting together?
I would go back and go to the Champion Eagle X's probably and start running plastics through those. And then I would break into Dun & Pace's Willy Wonka room
Wait, Dunapace has a Willy Wonka room?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Everything's secretive, and he's got, it's very, go on that side of the building. They might play music. I don't know. And when you get over there, they everything's a secret. And Dave has told me and others, like, he's designed everything out till 2040.
So when does the Halo Polecat fall in? Did you not see it on the calendar?
No, I didn't see it, but I'm just saying, like, he's got them all designed out. So I'd love to see what the stuff he's got planned for 10 years from now.
That's amazing. I hope he adjusts that as he goes. I'm not sure if Dunapace is on the finger of the pulse sometimes. So we'll figure it out. But yeah.
Well, he's going to leave it all behind, and we'll see what his son does with it, right?
I like that. Okay.
Dave Pace will never die.
Well, Willy Wonka lived to be like, what, 150?
He'll be at the tip of the whip the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
The tip of the whip. The tip of the whip.
Hey,
anyway.
what did you eat when you won your the world championship a couple weeks ago?
What was I eating?
Yeah, what was the celebration meal?
It wasn't anything special. I think I had a pizza, actually, a crazy steak pizza with like tender filet mignon and stuff on a pizza. It was pretty cool, actually.
All right, well, what's the ideal celebration meal?
My wife's cooking. My wife.
Yeah.
Is,
all right. So getting back to the wife is the celebration.
Oh yeah. So her cooking is, there's no restaurant that compares. It's not even like, on the same level. It's crazy. I don't know her skills, but her skills are unbelievable.
Yeah. Shout out to Cynthia Feldberg.
I am blessed as well with a fiance who cooks just perfect. Yeah.
Fresh food's so much better than what restaurant. You don't know how long it's been there. It's crazy. But I like cheesesteaks. If you want to know, I want a cheesesteak, Austin.
Okay.
All right. Any celebrity, alive or dead, as your doubles partner, who do you want?
Any celebrity, alive or dead, as my doubles partner? Bruce Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's the best one yet.
How far could Bruce Lee throw?
I mean, I don't know. It's all about fast tendon speed, and eagle and then improved weight is not as important. That guy had the fastest.
I mean, dude's got some fast twitch muscles.
Yeah. Like, I think it would have been cool. And his demeanor, no one's messing with you. That's a doubles team that you want right there.
No one's messing with you at all. No, nothing. No.
Yeah.
No foot faults with Bruce Lee on the card. 0%.
No. Yeah.
So Dave Feldberg always has a caddy at every tournament. And who was the worst, and why was it Brian Gort?
Well, he wasn't the worst, but he gets distracted. I won't say there's anybody that's the worst, but a lot of the times the people will get caught up in the moment and forget that they're caddying, just because they want to be there and shake hands and see all the top players in the crowd, and that makes it difficult. But the worst kind of caddy for me is the caddy that tries to tell me how to throw my shots.
Is it true that you often pluck your caddy? You often pluck your caddies from like the MA40, MA50 crowd?
I mean, just at the local Georgia, I'll do that because they tee early. But
Gotcha.
In general, most areas I have a guy that has been doing it for years and looks forward to it.
He's got a guy. Dave's got a guy. I love it. Here's the most important question we're going to ask all night. What's your Waffle House order?
I would have the Philly cheesesteak sandwich with the side of hash browns, scattered, smothered, and covered.
Love it. So we're going to make a whole menu one time of all of our guest Waffle House orders. It's going to be fantastic. I
like that little cheesesteak sandwich they have. It's pretty good, with or without the egg or the bacon. Those are the two options.
If you're feeling frisky.
Yeah.
Do you got any superstitions on the disc golf course?
Yeah. I never split the pole. And I
split the pole.
And I never. If I have my caddy or my loved ones with me, my wife, you never split anything when you're walking.
Yeah.
You never split a pole or a tree. You walk
same side of the tree.
Yeah, and I always walk through the Mandos. I never walk around them.
Ooh, I like that one. I'm a right foot on the tee pad, right foot off the tee pad every time guy. Can't do my left foot first. Hate it. Is there anything you get nerdy about besides disc golf? Like, are you into like craft beer or Star Wars or anything like that?
I guess the nerdiest thing that I haven't been into it as much in the last 10 years, but I was into sports memorabilia.
All right, so baseball, football, everything, or just
everything. Yeah.
What's your most favorite collection?
I have a Babe Ruth full team 27 Yankees World Series ball that my grandfather's uncle was the tailor for the Yankees that year, and
my God,
my grandfather was a twin, so him and his twin brother received those autographed balls from their uncle on their 10th birthday, and he saved it all those years, and I have it. And the Babe Ruth on the sweet spot still very legible. It's got DiMaggio as a rookie, and it's got the mayor, and it's pretty cool.
I used to think Kevin McCoy
dude.
was cool for having a horse that won the Kentucky Derby, but I think you just won. You just won all that. Yeah. Yeah.
You got any good Kevin McCoy stories?
No, not really. He's I think that thing what he's doing with the horses is cool.
Yeah. What would you be doing if it weren't for disc golf? If disc golf didn't exist?
If disc golf didn't exist, I would have been a computer programmer. That's what I was going to school for before I found disc golf.
That would have been a good job too back then. I mean, for sure.
I was learning
For today too.
COBOL, C++, Fortran. That's the stuff I was learning.
Oh yeah. So Dave, you're on my Mount Rushmore of disc golf. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore of disc golf?
Mount Rushmore disc golf: Climo, Schultz, Macbeth, and
Yourself?
no, I'll go with
Steady Ed?
Greenwell.
Ooh. I've heard Greenwell's name a lot tonight, and I hope that people have noticed that we've heard his name a lot tonight.
Yeah. I want to do a shout out though. Either Greenwell or Levon has the longest streak of open wins in the open division. I think it's 34 years with a win.
Huge. Okay, Dave, we're getting about to that hour.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice or any questions for us?
No, I think that what you guys are doing is good. It's nice to see something out of Georgia. I hope that you guys can look to you guys maybe to do some NADGT wrap-ups in the future if I can get you guys to do that.
I have a really good idea about that. I'll talk to you off air about it.
Yeah.
I got an idea for this.
Yeah. And just, let the Georgians know that, NADGT is based in Georgia, and we appreciate all the support. A lot of the events sell out, and that, we're doing it to try to make the sport better, and we're doing it as a family business, and we have a great staff, and we've, now we're up to 8 to 12 staff members that are paid, and they're all great. They're doing a great job for us, and we're just very happy with the growth and hope that people can see that we're just doing it to provide some kind of organizational continuity between amateur play and make it so that there's a reason to go on in amateur play to get, to keep playing for something. It's like, oh, I won the local tournament. Well, what's that mean? I want to keep going. And in other sports, you always keep going.
Right.
Builds
Love
the
it, dude.
pipeline. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. It's your time to shine. Tell the people who sponsor you, where to find you on the social medias, all that good stuff.
I'm sponsored by Infinite Disc, so shop there, infinitedisc.com. Check out the Emperor signature disc. My other sponsors are Zanfel. Team Zanfel is what I'm on now. The Poison Ivy Oat Cream. They take really good care of me, and that stuff actually works. Most of the stuff doesn't work.
Great product.
Walgreens or Walmart. And Pro Pool Disc Golf, the guy that's making the training gear out of Charlotte. He took my, thing that I was always making it homemade and made a permanent version that works really well. I mean, me and Climo and a lot of the top players use that to get to our swing plane where we're at. And then just overall at NADGT and my family, it's all big support with the staff and all the players. Everybody always supports us. And, if you want to find me, you can follow me on my Dave Feldberg athlete page on Facebook. There's a davefeldberg.golf website that does have a biography about me. I haven't been on in a while, but feel free to check it out. But go to NADGT.com. Our website's up. You can go on a disc golf scene, type NADGT, it'll bring up all the existing events. And this is the last thing I want to say, the championship. It might not be the biggest event ever, but it'll probably be the biggest event ever. We're looking at 17 to 1,800 people, almost $1 million in total value, 12 courses, Crazy Disc Golf Network, Joe Mazu Disc, 40-some companies coming. Just something to look out for October 28th through the 31st. Make sure you check out the coverage.
Awesome,
Hey.
Dave. Thank you so much, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep, thanks, Paul, I appreciate it.
See you, Dave.
That was fantastic. Dave's the best. Yeah, Dave, that was fun. I just went to Am Worlds, and hearing Dave talk about amateur tournaments makes me excited about NADGT stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to play his events, and I want to go back to amateur. I mean,
No, it's too late, bud.
he even gloated about beating my ass. And
You made your $1,100, and you're done now. Whatever you got. What do you got? 2,600? 27? I don't know what you got.
I don't know, dude. I made $5,000 last year.
Dave buried you on that one, though. Dave buried
dude.
you. Did you hear that when he's just like, you're a local pro, you beat a couple guys a couple times, you get like 7 open wins in a year, and then like, oh, what do you do from there, man? Life gets in the way. You get a dog, you get a job, you start living with Matt Versola. He almost said all that.
I mean, it is what it is, dude. I'm a local pro. It is. I show up to local doubles and everybody's like, "Hey, Austin's here."
We're gonna lose our money. Wait, is Cody here? No, Cody's gonna take the money, but Austin, Cody Britton. Then Austin's here too. Oh, 18K says, "Hey, thanks, Dave. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mike. Mike was watching the whole night. He had a bunch of comments, so that was good. That was pretty fun. I really enjoyed talking to Dave. I want to talk to him about. I have NADGT ideas because I think it'll be. We've talked about.
We've talked about it before. I think it's going to start being a thing. So look out for the NADGT on Frolfcenter.
We might get her.
Maybe. Might talk some. We might talk some negotiations.
If
Dave's also made the mistake of.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, if you want to hang out with me and Austin this weekend, we'll be there Sunday at Dundee Lake for the end of Hotlanta.
Hey, yeah. Come get some merch from us.
Can we get some merch? If you use the secret passcode "Trop till you drop," you get a bonus with every purchase. So,
It's not going to be hard because we're probably going to be drinking Tropicalias.
What? Huh?
We're probably going to be drinking Tropicalias, so it's probably not going to be hard to forget that one.
Yeah, say what? I'll be at the tourney. Yo, what up, John? Say what? Dennis Winkler. No. Dennis Winkler cannot start commenting with Frolfcenter.
Dennis can't come on Sunday.
No, he can't be there?
No.
We're not allowing. We're saying no.
So, all right, guys. We're changing things up, like we said. I'm out for a week. See ya at Hotlanta. Peace.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for watching. Once again, come see us Sunday at Hotlanta. Courtney McCoy's going to do a kick-ass job at that. I'm very excited. Thank you for watching Frolfcenter. Go buy a
shoppers. Can I get a fucking oh yeah? Thank you.